What's up, people? It's your girl Adeola. I'm so excited because a lot of people are now talking about restructuring Nigeria, something that we desperately need. To restructure is to change the system. The definition is to change the jobs and responsibilities within an organization in order to make the organization operate more effectively. Restructure doesn't mean to break up Nigeria, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I know that a lot of people want Nigeria to break up so bad, so we'll talk about that at the end of the service. But to restructure, first of all, we need to decentralize power in Nigeria. Instead of the federal government being so powerful, the states will be independent and be more powerful. Right now, every state in Nigeria begs the federal government every month for statutory allocation. Clearly, it's not working because about 27 states cannot survive on their own. So we're saying that each state in Nigeria should control its own police, control its own education system, its health services, be able to fix its own roads, be able to diversify its own economy, be able to generate income and pay workers, and this will promote a healthy competition among all the states in Nigeria. Imagine that a road is so bad that it's causing huge traffic and accidents, but the governor cannot fix it because it's a federal road. I was like, what? This shouldn't be. Only interstate roads should be federal roads in Nigeria. Each state should be able to fix all the roads within its territory, including the roads leading to the airport. Speaking of the police, here in the US, we have state police, we have county police, we even have city police. NYPD is New York City's police. LAPD is Los Angeles police. Some people say that if the police is controlled by the states in Nigeria, that governors may use the police for their personal interest and against the federal government. Well, that's why we should not only have state police but also have federal police. Here we call them FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, and they are more powerful than state police. So each state should also be able to explore its own natural resources and diversify its own economy. Look at Nasarawa State, for example. Look at all these natural resources. If Nasarawa State will explore all these natural resources that they have them. Even now they have all these things. There's no reason for Nasarawa State to rely on the federal government to pay salaries of its civil servants. Some countries don't even have half of what Nasarawa State has. And then let's look at Edo State. Okay, thank you very much. Look at Edo State. They have marble, they have limestone, they have lignite, they have iron ore, gold. They even have gold. Are you serious? They have gold? You know, our main problem in Nigeria is focusing only on oil. Meanwhile, each and every state in Nigeria, every single state, all 36 of them have multiple natural resources that are untapped. Some have more than 20 natural resources in Nigeria, yet we're struggling to pay salaries. I'm saying that many states in Nigeria are richer than Dubai when it comes to natural resources. I'm not advocating for unhealthy exploitation of our lands and resources. I'm just saying that if explored with good intentions and without damaging the environment, there are so many states that should do better, look better, and have better economy than Dubai does. At the end of this episode, if you're from Nigeria, please take a minute and Google the natural resources that you have in your state. You may be surprised by how rich your state really is. Now, let's forget about natural resources. Let's talk about manpower in each state. There are some states in Nigeria that have more people than many African countries. As of 10 years ago, the population of Kano State was 9 million. Lagos was 9 million. Oyo, 5 million. By now, I'm sure that all those states have increased in millions. I mean, look at Cuba. There are only 11 million people, which means that Kano and Lagos State of today probably have more people than Cuba. What is Cuba known for? Exporting medical doctors and nurses to different parts of the world. They invest in their own manpower. They train thousands of doctors. They know that the world needs doctors, so their government would make deals with different countries. They'll be like, hey, Ghana, we can send you 4,000 doctors. What do you say? Ghana will say, bring them. Hey, Brazil, we can send you 2,000 doctors. Brazil will say, bring them. Do you know that the Cuban government makes $8 billion every year in revenue from sending doctors and nurses abroad? $8 billion. And that is because the government collects a portion of the income earned by the doctors and nurses because, you know, the government was the one that got them the job abroad. So the government collects a percentage of what they are getting paid. There are at least 37,000 Cuban doctors and nurses working in 77 countries, and the government of Cuba keeps making money off of these people. And then look at India. They invested in their healthcare system. They made sure that their hospitals are well equipped using the latest technology. Today, where do Nigerians go for treatment? India. And not only that, if you need search engine optimization, if you need to build a website, anything that has to do with web development, today India is number one. Even if you don't know about them, once you have a blog or a website, they will reach out to you that they can do your search engine optimization. Each state in Nigeria can also invest in its manpower, which means that we have to restructure our educational institutions. Lecturers should want their students to do well instead of saying, oh, no one gets an A in my class. The last time somebody somebody got an A was in 1992. Just imagine that crap. The lecturer will come and say, if you don't buy this handout, you will not pass. Like, what is that? Enough of theories. We need practicals because we cannot produce experts if our learning institutions are not of world standard. And then nothing stops us from sending people abroad to train them if need be. Right now, so many states that have sent people abroad, they leave them stranded. Many states have stopped paying their tuition and allowances, and that's a shame. So besides manpower, there are services and products that each state can explore. Ondo State, for example, can supply chocolate to all of Africa. You know that we are exporting raw cocoa. Till today, we are still exporting raw cocoa, and then we buy chocolate. That's wrong. That's so wrong. We're buying back our own product. Who does that? We have cocoa in Ondo, Cross River, Ogun State, Akwa Ibom, Edo State, Ekiti Delta, Osun, and Oyo State. What these states need is their own cocoa processing plants, and then they should have their chocolate factories, package them well, and export finished products. We'll create jobs for thousands of people, and it will also boost the economy. So all these states that I just mentioned, they can survive on chocolate if that's all they have. I mean, look at Michigan State, for example, here in the US. What is it known for? Michigan is known for making cars, all kinds of cars. Do you know that one of their top designers is a Nigerian from Sokoto State? Yes, he's from Nigeria, and he designs their cars. Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, all these other states, they also make cars. You see a healthy competition among the states here in the US. There are so many states in Nigeria where young people build cars, but no one takes them seriously or invest in them. We just laugh about it without thinking of the potential. Another big source of income for each state to explore is tourism. Plateau State, for example, used to be so big on tourism. Those Rocky Mountains. Look at Las Vegas here in the US, a city in Nevada. It's a desert, just like Dubai, but Vegas developed its tourism sector. Nice hotels, theme parks, all kinds of shows, and of course the casinos. Amen, somebody. I know you get excited. Get out. So they make more than $50 billion every year from tourism, and tourism provides 376,000 jobs for people in Las Vegas. 376,000 jobs, $50 billion a year. Nigeria's budget this year is not even up to $10 billion, and they said that's the biggest budget we've ever had, and it's not up to $10 billion. Meanwhile, one city in America is making $50 billion from tourism. Tourism is a huge business. Florida makes $90 billion from tourism. I mean, $90 billion in a year, dollars. Look at that. New York makes $100 billion from tourism. $100 billion. You see why they don't need to rely on the federal government here in the US? There are so many states in Nigeria that can transform themselves to the hub of entertainment or the home of safaris and so on and so forth. Let's look at Olumiri Waterfalls in Osun State. I look at this and I said, all you need to do is clean up the place, clean it up, repaint all the old structures, make it look inviting, fix the sidewalks, fix the stairs, make it wheelchair accessible so that everybody can come, install some lights, like some nice and big lights, so that when it's dark, people can still come. The lights that will shine on the waterfalls, like how they are doing at Niagara Falls. They have all these lights that will reflect on the waterfalls at night, and then put some rides there, you know, like a theme park. Things that children would love to do and they will pay money to do it. You get what I'm saying? And not only that, you can put up zip lines, and then you can have some cable cars for nice view, and then have a photo booth, have a gift shop, and a small train that will go around, you know, like Disneyland. You know how they have a train that takes you around the Disney Kingdom? I'm not saying that they should turn into Disneyland. I'm saying that if Oyinbo people have something like this, you know how much money they would make from it? Millions. And this is not the only thing. So of course I appreciate modern architecture, but let's take a look at Kano, for example. They have some amazing indigenous architecture that could become tourist attractions. In Egypt, architecture is a major aspect of the tourism industry. The pyramids, you know, people go there just to see the pyramids. I know that these are not pyramids, but these are beautiful buildings with ancient designs and handmade finishings that could attract international tourists. It's all about packaging, my people. It's all about packaging. What happened to Yankari National Park in Bauchi State? We don't know the importance of what we have in Nigeria, and we have the perfect weather. People can come from all over the world throughout the year. What I'm saying is, if each state would develop its attractions, rebuild all their airports, you know, the airport is the first thing people see. If the airport itself is inviting, people would want to come, and they will have people coming from all over the world paying money to explore. Just Just look at Obudu Ranch in Cross River State. Have you been there? It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. People go there from different parts of the world. We need more of this. Nigeria is such a beautiful country, and it can be a huge tourist attraction if we invest in our tourism sector. Now, moving on, each state should also be able to set its own minimum wage, so that if the minimum wage is too low in one state, people can have the option of moving to another state, and this will force each state to have reasonable minimum wage, which is why we need to get rid of state of origin in Nigeria and let people decide to be residents of any state that they want. I know that some governors are very corrupt. I've heard that argument, and people are saying that if a state is independent, it means that the governors can embezzle money as they want. That's true, but the fact that the federal government is more powerful has not stopped them from looting anyway. The important thing is for us, the people, to know the power that we have. A governor cannot loot the state without the cooperation of some people in the state. And if we truly want to change, we won't vote for just anybody, and whomever we vote for, we would make them accountable. The day Nigerians realize how much power they have, that's when they get independence from all these corrupt officials. Now let's talk about breaking up Nigeria. I've heard several arguments about why Nigeria should break into 4 countries: Biafra land, Niger Delta, Oduduwa Republic, and Arewa Republic. I just have a few concerns, about the practicality of this whole thing and the consequences of Nigeria breaking up. Number one, what happens to those that are not Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, or Delta? What happens to them? We seem to forget that Nigeria has more than 250 ethnic groups, each one with its own language and culture. And then we have over 500 additional indigenous languages. Some people don't care because they think, oh, these are just minorities, but no. Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba are only about 70% of our population. We're talking about more than 37 million people that are neither Hausa, Igbo, nor Yoruba. That is more than the population of Canada, the whole of Canada. Where do you want these people to go? What do you want them to do? And they don't want to be categorized as Hausa, Igbo, or Yoruba. Let's look at Plateau State, for example. A lot of people think that it's a Hausa state, but no, that is so wrong. In fact, the indigenous people of Plateau State are over 40 ethno-linguistic groups: the Berum, Buji, the Tarok, and so on and so forth. And they all have their own languages. Yes, they also have Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba immigrants, but they are not the indigenous people, and they are not the majority in Plateau State. Most people in Plateau State are Christians. A lot of people don't know that. They think that most people are Muslims. And then let's look at Borno State, for example. There are a lot of Kanuri people in Borno State. They are not Hausas, and they don't want to be classified as Hausa. In fact, a Kanuri person will tell you that, oh, they've been in existence before Hausa people. I'm not about to get in the middle of that argument. But what I'm saying is, if we break Nigeria into 4, and then these 37 million people don't fit into any of these groups, should they also break into their own countries? Like Kanuri now have their own country. How many are we going to break into if we start breaking up? Now, the second thing that worries me about breaking up Nigeria is the possibility of another civil war breaking out. Right now, we have Igbos in every single state of Nigeria outside the Igbo land. We have Hausas in every single state of Nigeria outside Hausa land. The same goes for Yoruba people. We are everywhere, including places that are not Yoruba lands. Many of them have been living there for years, thriving in their businesses. And then let's not forget about students. There are no universities that don't have people of multiple tribes in Nigeria. Many Yorubas are studying at ABU, Zaria. Many Igbos are at the University of Ibadan. It depends on wherever you get an admission. People are desperate to go to school. They don't care if it's Hausa land or Yoruba land or whatever. And then let's not forget about how we've intermarried. Igbo and Yoruba couples, Hausa and Yoruba couples. The moment Biafra becomes a country, Igbos outside the Biafran territory may no longer feel safe. Keep in mind that not all Igbos want Biafra. And then the moment Arewa Republic becomes a country, Hausas outside the Arewa Republic may no longer feel safe. And God forbid, if Biafrans decide that all Hausas should leave their territory, the same thing would happen to the Igbos in Hausa's territory. But my fear is they may not just say leave. Okay, bye-bye, leave. They may not just say that. They may say more than leave. If one Hausa man is killed in Biafra land because he didn't want to leave, what do you think would happen to all the Igbos in Hausa land? I'm just saying that not everybody wants to leave a place that they've called home for decades to go and start all over. And if this leads to the killing of people, a lot of innocent people may die before we get it under control. And I'm not talking about a few thousands. Let's take a look at India. When India broke into three, India used to be one country and then it became India, Pakistan and Bangladesh. All the Muslims were moving to Pakistan and then the Hindus were moving to India. Do you know that 3 million people died because the country broke up? 3 million people were killed. And then when Yugoslavia broke up in 1992, you know that they started attacking each other. A lot of people died. The US had to intervene at that time. And speaking of the US, there was a time that they also wanted to break. In fact, they had a civil war because the South wanted to keep slaves. They wanted to continue to practice slavery and the North said no. Do you know that 750,000 people died? Abraham Lincoln today is not only remembered for ending slavery in the US, but also for keeping America one country, as in uniting the United States. May I say that one of the reasons why we're seen as the giant of Africa is because of our population and our size and our diversity. I mean, our government is not all that anymore. There was a time that the Nigerian government was really everything. That's why they used to call us giants. But right now, our population is speaking for us, our size, our diversity, not only in language, but the rich culture, different cultures that we have in Nigeria. Every part of Nigeria has a different vibe. When you are in Kano, it's different from when you're in Lagos. It's different from when you are in Abuja. It's different from when you are in Port Harcourt. And then the different types of food that we have. It makes Nigeria unique. I've heard people say that Niger Delta would have oil to themselves and they would do better when they break off. That's true. But people are beginning to diversify. Soon, oil will not be the basis of everything. Is Niger Delta thinking about other resources that they have as well, apart from oil? So in summary, I think that restructuring is the solution to our problem right now in Nigeria, not breaking up the country. Besides, if we don't learn to get along now, if we break up, we'll still need each other because we will still deal with each other. So we'll still have to get along somehow. One thing that I like to say is that I strongly believe that Nigeria would do a lot better as a country if we make it compulsory to teach the 3 main languages in schools, starting from primary school. I strongly believe that. I believe that if everybody can speak Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba, our conflicts would be minimal because the language helps you to understand people. Me and Koledo, we're already learning Hausa, Kada, and Igbo. A little bit. We're preparing for when I will be first lady. And when I become first lady, that would be a priority. That everybody must learn the 3 main languages. Because when you can speak people's language, it opens a channel. You can reach them at their comfort zone. You can understand people better when you speak their language. There are some people in Nigeria, and it baffles me each time I see this in comments and in conversations. There are some people in Nigeria that believe that they are superior to other tribes. There are some Hausa that believe they are superior to Igbo. There are some Igbos that believe they are superior to Hausa. There are some Yoruba that believe that they are superior. I believe all this is because we don't understand each other. So learning the other person's language can help you to actually understand how they reason. And not only that, you'll be able to price your suya better. You know, when you are buying suya in Lagos, instead of just saying aboki one, aboki two, what do you mean aboki? If you can speak aboki's language, you can ask him about his family and he will give you jara when you buy your suya. But you guys know I don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Moving on to Gabon. Kudos to the people of Gabon for saying enough is enough. How can one family be ruling the country for the last 50 years? The father, Omar Gombo, was the president from 1967 to 2009. 42 years under one man. And then his son took over when he died in 2009. That is 7 years ago. They just had an election and once again the son declared himself as the winner. And that's when the people said enough is enough.
Hundreds have been arrested in a second day of protest in Gabon after the announcement of President Ali Bongo's re-election amid accusations that the vote was rigged.
The election was rigged. The opposition candidates won 6 out of 9 provinces. What more evidence do you need? Can you imagine that the president is saying that, oh, well, he won 95% of the vote in his own province, and so he declared himself the winner? Just imagine that. And then when the people protested, policemen arrested more than 1,000 protesters. More than 1,000. And as of Friday, they've killed 5 protesters. Don't you hate when African presidents force themselves on the people, even when they know that people don't want them? They are still forcing themselves on the people. I mean, these people set fire on the parliament building. What other evidence do you need to know that they don't want you?
Bongo a gagné sur 2 provinces. 2 provinces sur 9. Alors, les 2 provinces ne vont pas la République. Et nous, on en a marre. Bongo, on ne veut plus.
I wish the man would just step down peacefully. Do us all a favor and step down. But you guys don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. So for our rapid news of the week, a popular Cameroonian soccer player was signed to an Egyptian club on a 3-year contract, but when a medical test revealed that he's HIV positive, instead of just calling the guy, they decided to publish his test on their website and announce to the whole world he's HIV positive, so we're canceling his contract. I was like, Egypt, really? Really? What happened to human dignity? How dare they publish his HIV test result on their website? That's messed up. A patient is supposed to make that decision whether he wants to go public with his result or not. I don't think that's fair. And speaking of which, in South Africa, HIV positive patients that are South African citizens can now get free antiretroviral drugs. Yes, that's awesome. I wish all African countries can do that. But still on South Africa, can you believe that a secondary school asked their students to straighten their natural hair to get a perm? I was like, what? Who that?
The system did not allow for black girls to have afros.
Man, these are kids. Really? Pretoria Girls High School. Are you for real? Kudos to this lady, 13-year-old Zuleika Patel, and her friends who protested.
I was told my afro was not wanted. I should straighten or relax or cut my hair off because it is not wanted and it is dirty.
Her hair is so beautiful. Like, I wish I can steal her hair right now. I wish my hair could be this long and thick. Girl, we are so proud of you, you know. Wake up, South Africa. There is nothing wrong with natural black hair. Enough of this white supremacy mentality. Imagine somebody telling me that there's something wrong with my natural hair. I'll be like, who, what? I'm growing my natural hair and I'm loving it. Yeah, I'm loving it. My hair is thicker, it's healthier. Hey, the list goes on. And in Gambia, a major opposition party, that is UDP, just announced their candidate, Adama Barrow. Gambia is getting ready for elections in December, and I cannot wait for Yaya AJJ Jammeh to finally step down. And good news, Benin no longer requires a visa from Africans. Yes, that means that you can go to Cotonou and other parts of Benin without a visa so long as you're an African. All you need is a passport to prove that you're an African. Now, this makes it 13 African countries where you do not need a visa to get to the country. Some of them want you to get a visa upon arrival, like Rwanda, like Ghana. They issue you a visa upon arrival, but countries like Benin, like Seychelles, you don't need a visa at all so long as you're an African. So if you're thinking of going for vacation, now is the time. That is so cool. That's cool. You guys now don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. So before I sign out, I want to thank a viewer by the name Lola Oguntade for sending me this nice outfit. I really appreciate it. It looks good on me and I so much appreciate it. She just loves the show and decided to send me this nice outfit. So love you, girl. Thank you so much. And if anybody else is wondering how they can get their products to me, for me to put it on, just email me. Kodo will get the email and he will get you my address. Alright, y'all. It's been real and I'm keeping it real right up in here. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next week, I'm gonna see y'all later. Peace out.
Growing up in Kenya, my sister and I were very close. But like any sisters, we fought a lot. She always got new clothes and I always got hand-me-downs. Now she's putting her children through school in Kenya. We still fight sometimes, especially when I send money for the kids. I tell her, buy some clothes for the younger one, and we both laugh.
With nearly 500,000 locations, our app and online, this is moving money for better.
Welcome to Forsville Luxury Hotel. At Forsville Luxury Hotel, we offer excellent service. Our rooms have all the necessary facilities to make your stay comfortable and memorable. You will also have access to internet service, breakfast, 24-hour power supply, full air condition, free international calls, free tire pumping service, and free car battery charge. So what are you waiting for? Quickly visit Forsville Luxury Hotel. We are located at #1 Adeola Mishile off Raji Rasaki Road, First Estate, Amuwo, Odofin Festac, Lagos. For more information or reservation, please call us on 08075787135 or 08099900601. You can also take advantage of our online ongoing promo at www.forsvillehotel.com to make your reservation and payment for your favorite room, which attracts a discount rate. Please note, rooms are reserved based on first come, first serve. Forsville Luxury Hotel. Experience the home of comfort. They come.